Zort is a horror survival puzzle game, and it might be one of the weirdest, most hilarious and yet terrifying games you've played for some time. While it's designed with multiplayer in mind, it can be played solo, though the experience would be quite different. In multiplayer, which is up to 4 players, the game's main hook is its unique psychological horror element. The game creates fake copies of your teammates that mimic their voices and movements. These imposters use the actual voice chat audio from other players and replay it from different locations to create confusion. Players constantly have to verify who's real and who isn't, which creates some paranoia. In single player, you would lose this aspect of psychological confusion with teammates, but the core gameplay loop remains intact. There's a sanity system and you need to find and consume items to maintain mental stability. There's item collection and of course puzzle solving that includes stuff like finding keys, gas canisters, tools and so on. Then, to keep it relatively spoiler free, there are various creatures to avoid, each with unique behaviors. The objectives typically involve finding items and using them to progress through the level. These objectives remain the same in single player, just without the team coordination aspect. The entire environment itself is part of the horror experience. There's lots of weird and hilarious stuff. There are retro TV shows playing on old sets, creepy animatronics wandering around, and lots of dark corridors. This game uses sound design effectively, and the atmosphere is really much better than you might expect.
Hello, little friends. I'm Zorto, the sound detective. I'm here to keep you safe. Hey, if things get too loud, I might need to give you a little warning. But don't worry, I'm just looking out.
For single players, the game pretty much compensates for the lack of teammates by providing more environmental storytelling and puzzle elements. You'd still need to manage your sanity, avoid creatures, and complete objectives, but you would be doing it all solo, since you can't rely on your teammates for help or their comic relief. It's probably a more focused and intense experience for most players. The game is episodic, with multiple levels or episodes available. Each level has its own unique creatures and mechanics. According to the developers, they are planning to add more maps, creatures and mechanics over time, since the game is in early access. Multiplayer is the intended way to play, and yes, you might miss out on the chaos and fun of trying to coordinate with friends, but instead you would gain a more personal and focused horror experience. Now, it's important to note that this game also features randomized elements to increase replayability. That means solutions and item locations change between playthroughs, which is a really cool approach. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.